finish up because she put her thing on like her shift up on the board.
Hello everyone, this is the student panel, and this student panel is about things that these two ladies wish they had known when they started college, or things they have learned through college. So they may be answering some questions you have, maybe some experiences you haven't gone through yet. We have some questions I'm gonna ask them, and they're gonna.
Do you have the camera on?
Yes, I do have the camera on. Feel free to sit right there.
Feel free to let me hide, Becky.
So, we do have some
Columbia
upperclassmen in the
College
room.
SSS.
So if you guys, you upperclassmen, or even you freshmen, sophomore, if you guys wanna, say something you think for the good of the group, we're all about that. So we're gonna dive right in. First, I'm gonna have you guys introduce yourself, tell them what you're studying, if tell them a little bit about yourself, so we know you guys.
Okay, I guess I'm going first. I'm Lauren. I am currently studying communications with a minor in forensics, biology, and criminal justice. And I'm a junior. And I'm from New Jersey originally.
Hey, I'm Misty Ransdell. I am a human services major with a minor in psychology and education. I'm originally from Wharton, Virginia, which is 45 minutes outside of DC. And I am a senior.
Okay. Well, I have some questions. If you guys think of something you want to ask, feel free to ask them. These are some things that we thought were important, as you come into college, and things that, that you need to know. And we think you should know. So, I'm going to start with this one. What campus resources do you wish you had known about sooner, or what resources do you use on this campus?
I would say the free printing. I did not know my first 2 weeks here on campus. Yeah, that would be the biggest one that I did not know. And then I finally went to one of the computer labs and was like, oh, we do have free printing. That's awesome.
Does everybody know that in here?
Do now.
Okay. What about you, Lauren?
I would say how helpful career services actually can be. I haven't been there yet, but I've actually heard from a lot of people how helpful they've been on resumes and stuff. And I use the people in my office a lot. I work in ESC, and they're really helpful. So.
And explain to them what ESC does.
It's the Enrollment Service Center, and basically any questions you have about financial aid, about enrolling in classes, about how to make a payment, book vouchers, parking passes, just go to them and they can help you.
And where is ESC?
It is in Missouri Hall, room 205.
Those big glass doors is what I always say, on the second floor of Missouri Hall.
Right across from Career Services.
And do you still take a number to get in there?
Yeah, you still sign in and everything. This week's a little busy because of registration.
Ah, okay. Kayla, you want to introduce yourself, tell them what you're studying and what year you are and stuff? This is our third speaker.
Hi, sorry, I thought we had all of our group panels at the Lee room, so I bolted there. It was very dark in there, so I knew it wasn't in there. My name is Kayla Paling. I am a psychology major with minors in forensic science, criminal justice, and I'm getting my crime scene certificate. And yeah, it's my third year here, almost senior status. So just from taking a lot of credit hours, so you can graduate early if you take a lot of credit hours.
I just asked them, and I'll ask you. We were just on the first question. What campus resources do you wish you had known about sooner, and what resources do you use a lot here on campus?
Career services, I know is mentioned, but I didn't realize how much they would actually help you with. They'll build your whole resume for you, which is actually what I use, because my resume has to be My resume has to be kind of like a federal resume since I'm trying to go in the FBI. So they helped a lot with that and finding internships and stuff. Also just your teachers. My professor has opened up so many doors. I don't know if anyone's a science major or criminal justice, but Mike Himmel, just because teachers and professors have a lot of experience already before they became professors, so they know a lot of people in the field. So really utilize those and don't get on your professor's bad side, because you never know what they might do for you.
That leads me to my next question. Then you can start, Kayla. Do you have a professor that mentors you? I would assume it's Dr. Himmel, but.
Actually, I have a couple. Dr. Hendrickson, she teaches stats and a lot of psychology classes. Does anyone know who that is?
Mhm.
Gretchen Hendrickson. She's one of my favorites. Her and probably Mike Himmel are the two that have really done a lot for me. Hendrickson really just, she cares more about whether you learn it versus the pace you learn it at. And so she'll work a lot with you. A lot of times now I'll just go in her office and sit there and do my own homework or talk with her just because I like her so much. So
Dr. Hendrickson is sort of a special friend for SSS, and she's always willing to help out our students and come down and do speeches and talks for us. So, and I know that she cares a lot about helping
does.
students do well.
she's one of the few teachers, I will tell you, if you ever have a writing class, she is probably the only teacher I've ever had who she cares more about your material, and if you do it wrong, that's okay, she'll help you get it right. If you can't figure out a paragraph and you just say, you know what, I don't even know what to write other than this one sentence, just leave her that note and she'll help you write it. She won't, plagiarism is a hard thing to grasp, whether you're gonna paraphrase or you're using quotes and you have to cite it. So she would rather help you if you make a mistake rather than punish you for it because you plagiarized. So she's one of the only teachers I've ever had who would really do that so that you aren't afraid to go outside your comfort zone.
And what about you, Misty?
Mike Perkins and Ahu Tabatabai are probably the biggest ones for me throughout like my career here at Columbia College. Mike Perkins is one of the human services teachers. He's a really good guy. He's really understanding. Like if things come up, he's a very understanding guy. If there's some question that you have towards the test, the next couple days, he'll like answer it for you, or he'll like talk to the class about, hey, this is the breakdown of the test. This is what you need to know. And he doesn't do like the whole trick question thing to like try and get you to fail like some teachers do. But he's like one of those teachers that like he's just a strictly awesome guy. And for Ahu Dawadabai, I've always had a hard time with her classes. Like when I first started here, so that's why I'm already taking Soc 270. But I took her like human sexuality course, and she just helped me through it all. Like I'd go to her office hours. She was always available to me. Like if I just didn't know how to write my take-home test, like she'd be like, okay, tell me what you know about the subject, and then let's talk. And I'd tell her about it, things I know that I couldn't put into words on paper, and that's kind of how I took my test. So she was always willing to move around things to try and help me succeed.
What you want?
I would say Dr. Darnell and Dr. McPherson. Dr. Darnell, because she's the one who I took speech with last semester, and at the time I took speech with her as a forensic science major and it wasn't going so well, and she kind of helped me talk through the decision and changing my major to communications, and so far that has helped tremendously with me succeeding and everything. And she's just always there to talk to and go back and reference for different things. For Dr. McPherson, she was my advisor throughout when I was in forensic science, and she's really helpful with just being honest with you and telling you whether you can she thinks you can handle 2 certain classes at the same time, or what she thinks would be better, and just helping you talk through all of that. And she's also a really good professor to go to in her class if you're struggling.
What about mentoring as like career type mentoring? professors in that way and how they helped you? And for the other people in the room, what would you suggest that they ask or what they do to help facilitate that relationship?
If you guys don't mind me,
Go ahead.
Hendrickson actually helped me, and so did Himmel, but Hendrickson knows my personality very well. She knows I'm very conscientiousness. She knows that I get very stressed out because of how studious I can be. So she gets personalities of each student. So she will actually tell me of different places that I should intern and what I would need for them. Himmel can open the doors for me because he knows a lot of people. So pretty much it's Hendrickson who's showing me sites I can go to, and Himmel showing me like certain people I can go to. But I would say career services helped me the most. Dan Gomez, he actually sent me 2 emails with just list and list of websites with applications for PDs, FBI agencies, Homeland. And so he probably helped me the most because I went through all of them and just contacted all those people, and it opened up so many doors. So.
Mike Perkins is really good. He basically helped me get through the process of my summer internship this past summer. I was over in Myanmar. I was working at the U.S. Embassy over there over the summer. So he kind of like was able to sign me off and go through nicks and crannies to try and get people to sign off this sheet because he wanted me to do this. I was taking an overload of 9 credit hours, and because my GPA wasn't up to par, I actually had gone to the academic dean and was like, hey, I promise I will get this stuff done. Let me overload this summer. And Mike talked to him saying, hey, she's a good student, blah, blah. I know she can do this. Please just sign off on her paper. And all the signatures were signed off, and I got to overload hours so I could do this. He's also like opening doors. Like I'm going to probably do a master's here at Columbia College. So hopefully I can get into the criminal justice master's program here. But for that, I have to take 2 classes in the CJ courses here in my undergraduate. So he talked to Barry Langford, and because he's like the head of the CJ program, I believe, or something like that. But talked to him, was like, hey, what does she need? How can I get her into it? And he basically, Barry Langford signed off on it, and hopefully I'll be getting my way to getting a master's degree like next year.
For me, it was Dr. McPherson mainly because when I told her about changing my major, I was nervous because I was like, well, I know there are so many careers in forensic science, but I don't really know what careers there are in communications. And she was talking to me about like the Innocence Project and like the Dove program and victim advocacy. And she really made me realize that those were the things I kind of wanted to get into, being an advocate for abused women and everything.
So it's really important, you guys, to build these relationships with your professors because they're the ones that know people. They're the ones that have information. You know, and where career services is awesome, and I agree. I think you need to go to them, and you need to go to professors. And don't be afraid to do it. Don't be afraid to walk into a professor's office. That's what they want you to do. They want to build relationships, and they want you to be successful here. So, on to my next question, and we'll start with you because you already brought it up. How important are internships, and how do people even go about getting this done and having this happen?
Well, internships are very important because they get your name out there and you get those contacts. I was very fortunate that my dad is DOD, Department of State, if anybody doesn't know that. He kind of got the job for me, but he gave me the information in the packet and told me, here, if you want to do it, you got to contact them. So I decided to do it. I went to Career Services, actually, and they helped me get through the process of filling out the paperwork to do the internship. So they helped me with all of that, and also they did things for while I was overseas to basically you have checkups. So you have like your first 4 weeks checkup and then your last 4 weeks checkup. And basically it's basically your performance on how you do in your internship. Basically that gives you your grade for your internship, and if you do well, for me, I did really well at the U.S. Embassy. I had the ambassador and the DCM, which the ambassador is basically the president of the embassy, and the DCM is the vice president of the embassy. They came up to me my last day and was like, if you need a resume, you contact us right away. And I have my dad calling me all the time saying, hey, the ambassador asked about you. How are you doing? And stuff like that. So making sure that it's very important that when you go to these internships that you bust your ass. Sorry. You seriously, you bust your ass and you get your name out there, because that's where you'll get your jobs. If you don't do internships, it's hard to compare to somebody that had an internship there and that put in the same job application as you did, and they both went to CC. That person that did the internship there is probably going to have the upper hand on you. Even though you both have the same credentials, that person that had the internship there that made a name for themselves, they're going to get that position.
Just to add on to that, I don't know, it's kind of different because I'm going in the criminal justice field just like Misty is. Also, if you have really crappy jobs while an intern, suck it up, because they know it's sucky jobs. They know that. But if you can get through it, whether you're just filing papers or doing minimal stuff, they recognize that, and they think, oh, well, she did it and she stuck through it. She must be very persistent and hardworking. She would be a good hire. So that's one thing I did realize in conferences. I just got back from an IAI conference, which is a forensics conference. Networking was pretty big. So whenever you get an internship, make sure you are really nice and you're able to be outgoing and get your name out there.
Well, I haven't done an internship yet, but I want to do one over the summer, and I haven't really decided if I want to do communications internship or like CJ internship, so I'm probably not the best person to speak to about this.
So you're getting ready to go through the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So am I, yeah.
And when you're looking out there, is career services giving you lists, or your professors?
If you go to Career Services and you ask for Dan Gomez or Rayhan, they are the two most perfect people to go to say, hey, this is my major, this is kind of what I want to do, is there any internships for me? And they will find, if there's a will, there's a way for them.
Yeah.
And Dan Gomez is like a freaking internet, just him himself. He doesn't need the internet. He'd be like, oh, this is what I got for you. Mm-hmm. And you're like, what? You didn't even open your computer, you didn't do anything. He knows it all.
Same with the resumes. Like, I just tell him what I do and he writes my resume. I'm like, I think this year I did this, and he just writes it all himself and he's like, how's this look? I'm like, perfect.
So we'll have to make sure they get the video of that, so you guys might have. Joelle would like to say something.
So I don't know if anyone in here is an education minor at all or going into education. Yeah. Okay. So in your field experiences, be sure, because field experience is an internship, be sure to jump in, and if any of you ever decide to minor in education, all hands on deck, and really just help out. Seek ways you can help the teacher and the school as a community. When you're there, you are a part of that institution and you represent Columbia College. And so whatever internship you have, wherever you go, just really don't leave it just the way it was. Leave it better than you found it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's good for any internship. Like you said, work hard. They notice if you work hard, and they notice if you're doing nothing.
Right, and another thing is, sometimes you can use an internship to hopefully make sure that you really are in the field that you want to be in. But if you take an internship and you find out, oh, I'm not so sure I really like this, so it would be good to take an internship as quickly as you can, like maybe after your sophomore year in your field, so you can get an idea if you're really going the right way that you want to go.
Yeah, that actually happened to me before. I'm glad I did an internship while I was in high school, because I did it at a sheriff's department, and that internship is what made me realize I don't want to go into homicide. I would rather do personality or cybercrime, something behind the scenes.
There you go. Well, we're going to shift gears a little bit. I wanted to know about getting involved in things on this campus. How do you get involved? Lauren's about to explode. About getting involved. How do you decide? What choices do you have to make? What's the best way also when you get too involved, which happens too.
Mhm.
So, go ahead, Lauren.
Okay, so I don't know if any of you know, but I'm an RA on campus. I'm in CAB, I'm in CAST. I work on campus as well, and I'm sure I do more than that. I just can't remember everything right now. But I love being involved on campus. Like, go out to the events, get to know people. Like, it is an awesome experience. Like, being an RA has opened my mind to so many different things. If you're thinking about they actually need applicants right now. So if you're thinking about being an RA or the new FYE mentor or an OL, which is an orientation leader, which were those crazy people you saw at the beginning of the year going around and getting everybody excited, if that seems like something you want to do, apply. Even if you don't know exactly if you're going to be a great leader, apply. My confidence level my freshman year, nowhere near as high as it is right now. Freshman year, I probably would never imagined speaking to a room full of people.
And she volunteered.
Yeah. So that is something that will help you if you get involved on campus. You don't have to be, I'm in SSSP as well. Forgot that. But you don't have to be a president. You don't have to be a exec member of the group. Just being there and getting that experience is extremely helpful, and I can't express enough how important it is to get involved, and Heyday helps as well. Just don't
Did
sign up.
anybody in here go to Heyday? Did you go to Heyday? Did you know about it? No?
Actually,
Well, explain what Heyday is real quick.
it's where all the campus clubs and orgs come out and basically explain what they're about, and they have sign-up sheets that you can write your name and email down, and they'll email you about the first meeting, about anything else that's going on after that, and from there you can decide if you really want to do it and if you're into it and anything else. And if you just want more information about it, you won't necessarily go. You can still sign the sheet and get more information. Like, I think last year I signed up for the Human Services Club not realizing what I was doing, and they still email me about stuff. So that will make me, I think, too involved, especially with 18 credit hours right now. But just get that information, and you can always join different things on different years. Like, this is my third year here and my first year in CAST. So.
I was just gonna say, I'm kind of doing the opposite route because my freshman year I got involved in 10 or 11 clubs. And yeah, because I was that person, and I've always had 18 credit hours and 2 jobs ever since probably my second year of being a freshman. So last year was awful because I also broke my foot, so that was not good. But I actually found out I'm not going to all those meetings. I'm not really participating in all of them because that's just too much to handle. So I found a couple, I think 2 or 3, that I really wanted to get involved in, that I either wanted to be a part of the vice president, presidency, treasurer, something like that, or I just really wanted to help out with. So I think that's almost better. It is good to have a couple more on your resume, but if you're really not going to do anything in them, it's better off having just a few rather than like 10 and really getting involved. Because then you can put characteristics on your resume of what you did, what you learned, and they'll see that too. So, and yeah, working on campus also will get you into the campus life too, because I work in the bookstore and in the gym. So if you haven't seen me yet, you will.
Well, they said a lot of positive things. I'm not saying negative things, Amy. But yes, it's awesome to get involved. But then again, you also got to remember that if you have too much on your plate and it's taking away from your school,
Yeah.
it's going to bite you in the butt. Like, I was an RA my first year here on campus. 2 weeks in, I got hired to be an RA, and I thought that was like, oh yeah, cool, this is awesome. Like, I'm back in my niche. But then I was involved in other clubs and doing this, and I work at the gym, I work with athletics, and I'm literally at athletics all the time, all day, dang day. And it just kind of overwhelmed me, and my grades started dropping. So I had to take one of the lessers. So I dropped being an RA, and I started focusing on my school. And now I'm having to pick up the pieces. So it's very important that, yes, it's awesome to get involved. It's awesome to make friends because you don't know who you meet on campus that could help you in the future. So, like, yeah, it's okay to burn bridges here and there. Like, if you know that that person's not going to, like, help you in the long run, it's okay. You're not going to need them. But there are some people here that can help you and will help you get somewhere in the future.
I'm so sorry, can I add
No,
another
go ahead.
thing? Okay. Student engagement and leadership development is the department that handles Heyday, and we also organize like all the clubs and student orgs. We send out the student org newsletters you guys might get on in your inbox. As far as that's concerned, if you don't know what clubs to join, don't wait until Heyday next year. Just email studentengagement@cougars.ccis.edu and we'll help like match you to clubs that you're interested in.
And I will say, I thought a good rule for people when they're starting to get in clubs is get in one club that has to do with your major and get in one club that you just like what they do and you think that's what you're interested in. And sometimes that's a good way to start to get in there.
And it doesn't even have to be clubs. It can be intramurals.
Yeah.
You can play intramurals. There's so many different intramural things that you can do.
Yeah. 4 minutes? Oh my gosh, this went by
Yeah.
too fast. Okay, so quick. Yes, Lauren.
So my freshman year, I was in the forensic science club, and that was one of the only clubs I was in. I did not enjoy it. So just because you enter a club that's in your major, don't think you have to stay in that club.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy that club, that's okay. Go and reach out to other ones in something that you will enjoy. Because if you're not going to enjoy it in the club, then you're not going to have fun. And you want to be in something you're going to have fun.
What's another question? One more.
I'm gonna do one more, and this one is one that Nancy asked at the end of Tuesday's student panel. How do you handle money when you're in college?
Oh my gosh.
Or the lack thereof? Who wants to answer first?
Okay, real quick. I have my parents to thank because they helped me a lot. My mom took out a loan to help me pay for my apartment. I still have to pay for my car and my food. And trust me, healthy food costs a lot. And I'm probably at the grocery store probably like 2 to 3 times a week. So money flies by a lot. Really watch what you're spending. Luckily, I have my parents to thank. But if I didn't have them, I'd be screwed. Like, screwed.
And do you still work 2 jobs too?
I still work 2 jobs because even though they help me a lot, I still feel like I need to contribute somewhat. So they know I try to work, and so.
About you, Nancy.
Living off campus, it's hard to have money when you decide to be an adult and get a dog and a cat and things like that. You have other responsibilities. I mean, I've taken out credit cards. I have parents that do help sometimes. My first 3 years, my parents didn't help at all. So I had to work off of just work study and get a second job outside of campus. So there are things that I had to sacrifice to try and make ends meet. And it might be cases for some of you, it might not. But it's always nice to have that little extra money in your pocket. And fun fact, if you live off campus and you don't have like other income money like coming in, and if you are part of work study, you are, as college students, able to apply for food stamps. So I have lived off food stamps for over a year. We're done being on food stamps because my partner Raven makes a little bit more money than she used to. But food stamps is a big kicker. Like, you don't have to be in Section 8 housing or in poverty. Like, you're college students, you're in poverty, you're broke. Like,
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, honestly, don't feel bad that you're using government's money to help you pay for food. You have to live too. Don't be ashamed that you're using a food stamps card. It's literally a debit card. It's not like a thing of book stamps, like back in the 1990s, okay? It's okay to use that. Don't be ashamed of that. You have to eat. You have to live. If you have to, like, say you live off campus next year and you need food stamps for the next 3 years because you're only making a minimum wage student worker position, that's okay.
And then you can get your degree and graduate and go out into the world and pay taxes and contribute to the next generation.
I pay taxes while I'm working as a student worker.
Well, you'll pay more taxes the more money you make.
I paid for 2 years before I got here, so I'm getting good standings besides Trump. Sorry for Trump.
Management?
Because Lauren lives on campus,
Yeah, so,
so it's a little bit different.
I live on campus and I don't have a car yet. But really, when you can, try to carpool with people. That way, if you do have a car, you're saving on your gas and you're also helping your friends if you can take them places, helping them save on their gas because gas has been up and down, as you've all seen. Money Stacks and Rachel Smith, huge resource when it comes to managing money. Go talk to her. She will help you in any way she can. She gave me a little book that is like, I told her a goal I wanted to have was to have $200 in my savings account by this date. And she was like, okay. She gave me a book and was like, mark down every time you make a deposit into your savings account. I haven't used it yet because my savings account is currently full for my card, but when that's no longer there, I'm gonna start using it, and she is a great person to talk to. She'll tell you how to save money at the grocery store, what brands, even though they're off-brand, they're still just as good as the name brand. Like, don't be afraid to go to Aldi's because they're great.
Aldi's is great.
They are
Mhm.
fantastic. They have organic now.
Do they?
Yeah, organic.
So, it's 5:30. I really appreciate you three volunteering to do this. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions or anything they want to add?
Coupons are great.
Coupons.
Yeah, every Monday morning, if you go to the student comments, we'll have the Sunday paper
Yeah,
on a
there's
coupons in it.
There's a ton of coupons.
There you go.
Apparently there's this
Especially
new
Sunday.
app called Flip
Yes.
that will tell you, I need to download that.
It's
Apparently
awesome.
it will tell you like the lowest prices at the best places. I decided instead of shopping at the mall, I'm just gonna buy clothes at Walmart. They have the same exact
There's
stuff.
that, and then there's Retail Me Not. That's also a great one. It's not just like for food. It's for like also retail places.
Plato's
So like
Closet.
if you get,
Yeah.
you know, if you like buy this much, say you bought like $50 at Kohl's, they have coupons on there that say like, oh, well if you bought this much, you can get it for $10.
And you guys realize that straight up 10th Street, at the corner of 10th Street and
Is the
Broadway,
wardrobe.
is New Beginnings.
That's a little
Consignment.
expensive though for
You
a
can
consignment
consign
shop.
Well, really?
Oh, and by the
No,
way,
I'm not talking about the one before Broadway. I'm talking about the
Oh,
one
okay.
after Broadway in the basement.
Yeah.
And it's a good one.
the
Yeah,
bookstore,
it depends.
I started working there, you would think they would be expensive, their food's really cheap. Buy a Pop-Tart for like $1.
I buy their food too much. I need to
Yeah, like their food, their clothing is expensive, although right now we do have 25% off, but their clothing is expensive, their food, I'd go there every day, all day if I could because it's cheap. And I keep telling them that, I'm like, how are you guys making money? Like this is cheap, so. their
Well,
clothes-
don't tell them.
And you guys know we have.
Well, I
a
work
kitchen
there, so I'm like, this is
here.
awesome, like, my manager broke, I'm like, this is awesome, like,
Don't make them raise the prices.
no, they won't, no.
If you guys eat out a lot, use your pocket points. If anybody doesn't know what pocket points is, if you have a smartphone or Android, basically if you're sitting in class, you earn points with not being on your phone. So the more points you earn, the more deals you get. So say I want to go take my partner out for sushi at Geisha. I could go to Geisha tomorrow, tonight, whenever. I can spend 45 of my points that I've earned being sitting in class without being on my phone, and I can get a sushi roll for half off.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So like, there's Sonic on there. There's
You guys have some.
Pickleman's. There's all different kinds of things that are downtown that you can get money
You can
off.
probably do it, just means
Yeah.
you can't be on your phone.
Yeah.
Also,
Hey.
That won't happen, she's on the
That
No,
phone.
Andy's always on his phone.
Well, that's
Not me.
true, that's true too.
The app Hooked, if any of you heard of it, it has a ton of food coupons. I deleted it because
Hooked?
yeah, I deleted it because it took up too much space on my phone, and I have an 8 gig and iPhone. Anyway, it's an awesome app. It gives you so many food coupons at like Chipotle, Sonic, Pickleman's, all the places Misty just mentioned. Like, there are a bunch of things like there's some for Pancheros where it's like buy a burrito bowl, get a free drink. Or get free chips and salsa or chips and guac with a purchase or something. Like, super simple, super easy.
Alright. Well, I know you guys wanna get out of here. It's 5:30. Make sure you signed in on the yellow sheet so you get credit for being here, including our speakers. Thank you.
Thank
Y'all are awesome. Thanks for speaking up. I love when people like add in stuff. That's right.
I was like, that's my department.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't think so. I don't want you to get no credit for this, so. Stephanie Layton.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
Alex, we need to get you, did you get in some clothes?
Bye-bye, Stephanie.
Did you get in any? We need to get you. Are you too busy? Yeah, with class, and are you?
Class, or usually I wake up 9 o'clock for class,
Have a good
get off at
Bye, good
2:30
to
for
see you,
classes,
Joelle.
go
You
to
too,
work at
Nancy.
3 until 11:30.
Oh, where do you work?
Quick Rose.
Quaker. Oh, you have a big job then.
What do you do at Quaker Oats?
Yeah, nice paying job. You're right.
What is Quaker Oats?
It's a factory.
Factory.
It's a factory?
It's a factory job.
In Columbia?
Yes.
Oh, and they make like Quaker Oats oatmeal?
We don't make those products. We make like the rice cakes.
Thanks,
and
Kayla.
pops,
That
snacks
was
that
awesome.
they have.
Do they
I appreciate it.
Free or less
I mean,
charge?
I work in like sort of like the packing area, so I can just take a bag and eat it if I want it.
Wow.
I know, that's really cool.
Yeah. So that's good.
You are busy then.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised you're here tonight.
My own day off.
Ah, that's good.
Besides weekends, I get weekends off.
Well, we're glad you spent some of it with us.
Yeah.
I try. I'm trying.
All right, awesome.
Okay,
See ya.
turn off the lights, Aim. I am
Oh,
not walking around
We just
this
taped that
room.
whole thing.
Oh.
Oops.